good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show is my mate Bridgeman. And one of our stars, our Jodie Pollock. How are we doing, boys and girls?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, Jodie. Good.
Can I say a huge good evening to you two, chaps and ladies? Massive good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are we doing, Bridge?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much, pal. Very well indeed.
Good. And how are you, Jodie? We've not heard from you for a while. You've been busy?
Yeah, busy. Gigging all the time and working, so quite busy. But I never forgot about you guys. I was just quite hectic, so it's good to be back on.
To coin a phrase, Bridgeman, this time next year I'll be a millionaire.
We're lucky, yeah. By the way, it was a great saying, man. Marvellous saying. This time next year.
Yeah, good. And all the restrictions nearly lifted, Jodie. It's good to get in there. And some of them Rangers gigs, some of them just musical gigs, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a wee mix and match just now, which is good. So normal stuff and the Rangers stuff, but everyone knows what my favourite is. It's quite good when I go to the gigs, people say, "Oh, I've heard you in Rangers Radio and stuff." So good to speak to people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
have you?
Yeah, a good few times.
All right. Oh, there you go, Bridgeman. There you go.
No, I'm trying to tell you that a load of guys on about me, the army gets bigger and bigger, you know. And when we're not on for a wee while, they said it was sadly missed. The show was sadly missed. I think the pension builds up, you know. People just say, I'm just sitting listening to Rangers Radio, well, whatever's on the telly is on the telly, you know. And they can sit and listen to it without comments or anything like that. I think it's great for them. Great for the world. Rangers Radio is great for the world.
I don't know about that, but the numbers are certainly rising all the time, mate, which is fantastic, and it's due to the effort of the people on Facebook, all the moderators on there, YouTube as well, and the people who do that for us. We can't thank them enough. I would say the unheard heroes of Rangers Radio, and then we've got the stars like you and Jodie, Bridgeman.
How can you say that? I was
going to say I wouldn't say stars.
I just better cut across. There's a rumour going about, Bridgeman, that you have said to this Mr. S. Skipper that you will settle outside of court. Out of court. That's
tennis court.
That's not true. That's not true, Skipper. He didn't say he would settle outside of court.
Not settle at all.
He would settle this outside the court. There's a difference.
Skipper, right. Brilliant, isn't it? Just brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Jodie, let's get your thoughts on how the season started, how the team's performing, what you're happy with, what you're unhappy with. Give us your thoughts.
Not started how I would have personally liked, but I was saying before the show to you guys, there's still all to play for, so it's not anything to overly worry you just now. I think we've looked, I don't want to say the word lazy, but I feel like our fitness levels aren't what they were last season. I think there's been a bit too much of a rotation as well with the back four, which messed about your defence. We know ourselves isn't the best. But positives, I would like to say that young Patterson and Bassey look really, really up for it. They are fighting to get into the starting 11. And I know it's more difficult for Patterson because obviously Tav's the captain. We relied on him heavily last season, but I would like to see him get given more of a chance. And the last game there, that was a bit more exciting. I don't think the scoreline truly reflected how well Rangers were. I think they were lucky to get 2 goals off us. So yeah, definitely starting to improve, but there could be more. But all to play for just now.
Okay. Well, for some bad news, it's just broke as a club statement. Rangers confirm that during our testing schedule we have received positive COVID-19 tests. Right, and it's plural. So those identified as positive are now self-isolating along with close contacts. We'll follow the best practice and the procedures and protocols from the outset of the pandemic. Rangers has worked closely with the Scottish Government, Scottish Football, to ensure the health of our staff is protected at all times, and we will continue to do so in the statement. So we don't know if it's players or staff or whatever, but hopefully whoever it is, first and foremost, they're all right, and hope but they stay safe, and obviously we'll see the impact on our team as we go forward. Bridgeman.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were going to do any announcement on it. Rangers are looking after it. They're taking care of everything they can, and the way they do with professionalism. And the staff are, as I said, there's some of them isolating, if not all of them isolating. And I don't think it's anything to do with our first team. Well, let's put it that way.
Well, the devil's in the detail. I'm sure we'll find
of course,
it in a couple of days, we'll see where it takes us. But just first and foremost, we hope everybody's health's all right. That's the most important thing, Jodie.
Sorry, I left myself on mute. I do this all the time. Yeah, of course. First and foremost, making sure everyone's okay, and obviously doing everything they can to make sure that it doesn't spread further within the club. But hopefully, it isn't too much of a massive hit towards us.
Oh, we just have to deal with it. Right, I was going to get these phone lines open, see if we get people to come in and talk to you, Jodie. You all right with that?
Yeah.
So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
There's been a lot of debate about our team, Jodie. What's firing, what's misfiring. Can you put your finger on anything when you've been watching what you've picked up?
Yeah, I think it's just mostly, like I said, the fitness levels. I just feel like we're really struggling in the final third. We've obviously suffered with missing Kamara. There was a few bands as well. I'm pretty sure like Balogun missed a game, Roof missed a game, or whatever. So we've missed some top players for us. And I'm not going to lie. I hope this isn't the case. But I hope there's no complacency within the team. Last season's done now. The league was won, but we're on to a full new season. So I wouldn't like to think that Rangers are thinking that they delivered what we wanted last year, and it's going back to just, I don't know, like there's not a real driving force from what I've seen. There's not a real desire. There is from a few players, but should be a full team effort.
So if you take just the last 3 games, and I know you can make stats mean anything, we've scored 10 goals in the last 3 games.
Yeah, I know, but we've also conceded more goals. And that's what I'm saying. I know that people, you get all sorts of opinions across all boards. People saying you're too harsh to the team, you're not harsh enough, you can't criticise this player, I can criticise who I want. There's always going to be difference of opinion. But when we're up, it's all about scoring goals, but you'll know yourself that less goals we concede, the way that can impact the table as well.
Easy to win if you're keeping clean sheets, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Easy to win. Yeah. Well, I would be remiss of me, Bridgeman, to try and say that we're playing well this season. At the moment, there's been times we've played well, but we've not hit that consistency yet, mate.
Yeah, I agree. Can I just say, well said to Jodie? I thought it was good. Some of the stuff she said, it was very good. I think as far as the Rangers concerned, they definitely haven't hit the form that we would like them to be on. And the things that you were saying about losing goals and no clean sheets, things like that eats into the confidence of the whole team. So we need to get our finger out. It might be a whole team effort, not to keep clean sheets, and we need to make that happen, because that gives the confidence. Players are able to step forward with the ball, do what they need to do, with confidence that it's going to be cleared at the back if necessary, or someone will be behind them covering them. And these are the kind of things that need to happen for Rangers, and they'll get there. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think we'll get 2 big matches coming, Jodie, and obviously that will dictate the whole mood of the show. If we win our next 2 games, we'll all be in a different place. Jodie?
Sorry, someone just messaged and I missed what you said because apparently there's rumours going about who's got the COVID.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
We're picking up it's John McLaughlin, but we'll take it from there. We don't know, but nothing's been confirmed yet.
Apparently, yeah. So the rumours are stating that it's also McGregor, Tav, McLaughlin, and Wright. That's just rumours again.
Yes, we'll see. I'm sure we'll hear.
Sorry, I got distracted with that. What was your question?
Don't get distracted, yeah. Bad enough with Bridgeman. He's getting an excuse. Right, so we'll get 2 games coming up, which are big games for the club. One for revenue and one for obviously we're rivals.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they say, yeah. They seem to forget they couldn't sell other tickets to be appeared. Yeah, but there's another story. But if we win these 2 games, the mood will change dramatically, yeah?
Of course, and I think there's also comments being made from that other mob where they're saying, can he play against fans, blah, 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 blah. Like, not against fans, with fans, sorry. But did you not see how much it picked up at the last, the first leg against, I can't say, is it Alishkert, like that team, where Wright came on, the fans got right behind him. He managed to keep up, had that effort on goal, and then the stadium just started, because I was at the game, and you just felt the atmosphere pick up, and there's people that like do actually thrive off a crowd, and I think it's hard, and I'm not condemning anyone in any way from being at games, but it is hard for the fans. I know that we're just off a brilliant season last season. Obviously, there was still more that we could have got out of last season, but stopping the 10 was the ultimate goal. But it's hard, like, you go to the games and you hear people like within the first 3 minutes, if Rangers haven't done anything, shouting and screaming, and it's not good enough, and it is going to contribute to the players ultimately. So there are massive games coming up. I think a lot of people are focusing on Sunday as much as we want to beat them. We've still, like you said, we've still got a massive game this Thursday coming, and it's something we do need to look towards, and financial impact, etc. of the club, like you said, it should be a main focus, and you just worry with such a big tie on Sunday as well. Like, the players need to be up for both, obviously the news of COVID and all that, but I do think that the fans need to get behind them a bit more.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I mean, we are a tough crowd, Jodie. Yeah, Richmond can answer that as well. Yeah, we're a tough crowd, let's be honest.
Well, a very difficult crowd of supporters to please. But you know, when they do please us, we're really appreciative, and we show that well. And I think,
and that's what I'm saying. So on Thursday, when Wright went, he kept himself on the ground. Like, he could have easily went and tried and played for Phil. He kept up, and then went for that shot on goal. And the crowd, honestly, I heard it, and it just changed. Everyone was up, everyone was singing, and you could see them thriving. I feel like Hadji's a player that really thrives off the crowd. I feel like Morelos, obviously, as you saw him when he scored, he started inciting the crowd to chant his name and sing and get behind them. And there is people that really thrive off it, but like you said, we're also our own worst enemy at times if we're not playing 100%. And quite rightly so. You can get why the team's frustrated, but it obviously does have an impact. It is hard as well. I think people need to remember Rangers are obviously the team everyone wants to beat. A lot of teams are going to play it as if it's a cup final against us, because we are the champions from last season. So it's not going to be swing, like, do you know what I mean? It's not going to be nice and easy. Everyone is going to try and put their all against us. They want to be the team that beats Rangers, etc. So we just need to make sure we're all up for the battle.
You know, sometimes when you're watching your team, particularly Rangers, of course, when they get no matter who they're playing, if there's a bit of dull football, then the fans get really, really upset about it. Why are we playing like this? You can hear them talking to each other, shouting to each other. Why are we playing like this? What's going on here? Get the manager, get a substitute, get him off, all this nonsense, you know. And you know, sometimes even if nothing happens, when the manager does make a change and puts a substitution, or even a change of position, and if something really good happens from that, and God Almighty, the Rangers fans are up. They're up for anything that happens positive for Rangers.
Yeah.
And that's what the manager and his team have got to do, and make sure we'll get the right players in the right positions to do something that will keep the crowd going on our side. That's what I think he needs to do anyway.
I think the trouble is there's a difference. It's the easiest game in the world when you're watching Bridge, yeah?
Yes, indeed. Indeed it is, yes.
You know, the easiest game in the world. And, you know, and if you take Ross County's first goal on Sunday, Jody, and you take that, yeah, could Tava get out quicker? Yes, he could. But then the ball was slid up to another player. Could Aribo have got there? Yes, he could. The ball was put into the box. McGregor makes a save. Could Connor Goldson be on his toes? Yes, he could. But other players for the opposition are there to do things as well. It's no a video game. It's a real life football game. Jodie?
No, I know, and that's the thing. It's much harder on the players, and it's so easy to sit and shout things like you said from the stands and say, or at home shout to your telly that this could have been done better, this could have been, but you're not really in that moment. It's just such a difficult one. I know we talk about maybe the players getting complacent, but I think a lot of the fans maybe also got a bit complacent and thought that we're just going to continue this unbeaten run. As you said, though, looking at the stats, it's not as if Rangers aren't putting the goals in. It's not as if they're playing horrific. It's just obviously not the standard that I think a lot of people have expected. I mean, our defence was one of our key points last season. It was one of our strongest, and for being honest, we haven't made any changes to the defence. And that I think that's the issue. I think that's what maybe myself, and I don't know if others people can, obviously if they disagree with me, that's absolutely fine, but I think that's the part I'm struggling with the most. If we've not made any changes, we've not lost anyone, we've not brought anyone in defensive wise, so it's hard to see why we're starting to concede and the defence is breaking apart, and that's why I simply think it's down to fitness, or they've took some time apart. The team cohesion's not the same it was. It's very strange, and I think that's why it's frustrating.
Should be fit now, Jodie. They've been playing competitive games for what?
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? When was the first Malmo game? Was that before the Livingston game? At home, wasn't it? Away?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yes. So you're into a month worth of competitive games.
So you can understand why they're frustrated. Do you know what I mean? It is hard to understand. I could understand if maybe let's say we sold Goldson and we got rid of and we sold Morelos or whatever, and we're now conceding and we're not scoring enough. Do you see what I mean? Then you can say,
you can understand we've lost two.
We've not replaced the quality. We've still got a top goal scorer.
I've got a question for you two then. I've got a question for you. You mentioned the back four, Jodie, and I've no checked this out, but I don't think we've played the same back four 2 weeks in a row. Bridgeman, then Jodie.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not that I can remember, but I think you're right. I think we in Rangers Radio have picked the same back four in a row, many games in a row, but it never happened. But for a while there, he was playing Goldson and Balogun at centre back, and of course he had Tavernier out on the right. So the only one that could have been different is Bassi and Barisic, but not that it matters. It doesn't really matter. I think
and then Holander's playing and Simpson's playing.
Correct,
well.
Of course, and the ball took a wee turn. So there have been lots of games, and the managers mixed them up a wee bit just to get some legs in them to see if it works. But the thing that puzzles most of the Rangers players, the Rangers fans rather, about our own players, is that you take the guys that take our free kicks, and Hadji always took a good free kick, and so did Tavernier. Brilliant, very dangerous, really, really dangerous. And I have to say, not that I've got the greatest memory in the world, I can't remember the last time Tav actually got the ball over the wall.
That's what I was about to say.
I just can't.
He can't beat the first man.
And his crosses have been pretty poor at some time. Don't get me wrong, he's still got some great crosses in, but there are times when he's taking a corner or a free kick from the sides, and it just doesn't get. Somehow, it just doesn't get it over that. Front man.
He's crossing this side. Hasn't been consistent at all.
That's correct. Well, that's a big mystery to a lot of Rangers fans. A huge mystery. Why?
Consistency, Jody, a selection, consistent performance. That's what we're striving for. That's what the manager will be striving for. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something that we were in the league blessed with last season, and it was beautiful to watch. And I think that's why the frustration is so hard hitting. If you were an outsider looking in, they're thinking they're not performing as awful. Like, they're not awful. But seeing what the consistency we had last season and it just dropping, and like you said, there's no excuses now for fitness levels or knowing who your best back four is, etc. We've played quite a few games now, so hopefully it's a turning point and we can crack on and just just be the Rangers that we all loved last season. It's just hard to put into words.
Yeah, but as I say, if we win our next two games, we'll look at the team differently. Bridgman,
exactly.
Jody mentioned the back four there. What is Bridgman's first choice? Obviously, we're assuming McGregor's the goalkeeper with good backup.
Yeah.
But you're picking the team. What is Bridgman's
providing they're all fit? Yeah.
Yes.
That would be Tavernier, Goldson, Helander, and Barisic.
All right. Okay.
Well, we know that both the fullbacks could easily change between the guys that are understudying them at the moment. Barisic hasn't played very well for a long time, but a really fit Barisic is a joy to have in your team because he puts lovely balls into the box. But that's not been happening. So I wouldn't have a problem with Barisic in there. Wouldn't have a problem.
Jody?
Hard. I would take Bassey over Barisic just now, though. I'd probably do Bassey.
That's just on form?
Yeah, just on... If you're talking if they're both at their best, like, if you're talking just now are both at their best, if they're both at their absolute best, I would take Barisic. If you're talking how they've played currently, I would take Bassey. I'd take Helander, Goldson. Again, if you're talking about best, I'd take Tav. I really want to give Patterson a go, and my reasoning for this, and I know that people will be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about, whatever, but my reasoning for this is I feel like Bassey and Patterson are showing that they've got all to play for this season, whereas I feel like it's hard, but just when you see them playing, they want to come out and they want to put a performance, and they're the ones fighting for a chance in the starting 11, so I feel like they do feel like they have more to play for, and that's just my own opinion, but on their best day, obviously, I would always go with Barisic and Tav. But how it is just now, I feel like Tav needs a rest and he's dropped. Maybe just to give him a fright. I think sometimes with the captaincy, you don't expect to drop your captain. So that's just my personal opinion.
Are you basing that on Sunday's game?
Not on Sunday, no.
No, okay. I know Bridgman didn't fancy him on Sunday, but I thought...
Can I give you an example? On Sunday, there was a marvellous ball just dropped right to Tavernier's feet inside the box. Just fantastic stuff, Listen, he's going to score this. He missed it. He missed it badly.
Aye, near the end of the match.
I thought to myself, what's wrong with him?
But did the centre forward know of a similar chance in screwed?
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, so
you're
looking at him.
We know he can do that. I think generally, but Tavernier was putting these balls into the net.
Just run that by me then. So you want to drop...
I don't want to drop anyone. I'm just saying to you.
Just run it by me then. So you want to criticise we're right back for missing a chance when he's on 80 yards and go there, but we're centre forward misses a similar chance. That's all right?
No. I'm talking about how Tavernier, something not right in his game.
He just needs a goal, mate, or something.
Well, it could be that. It could be as simple as that. Yeah, it could be something like that.
No, I don't get... Listen, I know that Tabs gets flaws in these games, and I would be the first to say he's not reached his standards, but I don't get the criticism he's getting personally. I know Fox is deeply upset and cries himself into his pillar every night.
There's nobody trying to berate the guy. I'm just trying to say we're talking about how come when the fans are sitting there and the fans are seeing and they watched Tavernier 6 weeks ago even playing very well, 8 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, scoring goals, our top goal scorer, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, he's failing in the rudimentary stuff in his game, as he's taking good dead ball situations, great crossing in, good shots at goal, either foot, no problem. Even if it goes over the bar, nobody cares. If he has a shot, let's do it. But when there's a massive open goal, normally expect Tavernier to put it in the net. So much the same as Morelos.
He should have done better, and so should Morelos, because none of the two are at the target, mate. You know?
No, you're right. It's not. I'm not criticising him. All I'm saying is,
no observation.
When you watch that and you say, "Where's Tavernier's form?" God, seems to disappear. You know.
Right, Jody, you're on Rangers Radio, and we've got this European tie coming up, which is massive for the club, for revenue. You know, we understand that, but it always feels secondary to what's happening on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it totally does. And like you said, it's so many people are saying, "Oh, I'm buzzing for Sunday," but we've got a big game on Thursday that we need to focus on. And it is something like, I think maybe everyone kind of underestimated them. They're not an amazing team, but we struggled to break them down in the first half. Obviously, the second half was much better. I personally think we played better with 10 men. And when you're talking just on, I know you're talking about Thursday, but when you were mentioning how we're criticising Tav and not Morelos, I feel like someone who doesn't maybe get enough, not stick, that's a horrible thing to say, but Kent has been he's been the most frustrating player for me this season so far.
He's been void of confidence since the Real Madrid game, which is bizarre.
So he's someone, when you were saying that, like Tav gets all the stick, I wasn't saying that I don't think he's good enough. I was kind of making the exact same point as Bridge there, that Barisic puts a foot wrong, right, we'll drop him and give Bassi a go. And it's the same with Goldson. Goldson doesn't really ever get dropped, and I know 9 times out of 10 he's a standout for us, but I feel like Goldson and Tav have always got the gaffer's confidence, which is amazing as a player to have, but that's where you can maybe see complacency, or where, yeah, they might not do a cross how they usually would, but it's not putting the fear of God into them because they're not going to get dropped. Again, that's not an opinion. They are brilliant players, but what I'm saying is, like, that's why I personally would have went with Patterson. Whereas if I'm talking about most frustrating player, Kent, it's so frustrating watching him. And if he is starting on Thursday, he really needs to start playing a more direct game. He's sometimes far too greedy with the ball. He tries to be too fancy, and I feel like he's getting really predictable. And that's why people are able to read his play, and it's not working out for him anymore. I do think he's low confidence. I think if he gets a goal,
I think he's too deep, Jody. If I'm being honest, I think he's playing far too deep at times. Yeah, he's picking the ball. He's picking the ball up 40 and 50 yards for goal when we've got him pegged back. I also think, and then we want him playing at the top end of the pitch.
I think we've saw this season in Europe, and even against Malmo, we really need to be a bit more creative. Playing down the wings, playing for crosses and corners all the time isn't going to work. We've said it ourselves, we're not getting past the first man, we're not getting the balls into the box. We need a bit of a more direct play about us, and we really do need to start like focusing on trying to play through the middle and break defences down, because the way we're playing just now, just down the wings all the time, it's not really working. More so in Europe, I would say. Obviously they've got a
mix up.
Yeah, it would just be nice to see something different for a change, but then I could be eating my words in a few weeks if we do try something different and it doesn't work for us. So it's obviously play to our strengths, but I just feel as if we're getting a bit predictable. We'll play from the back, take up the wings, and play a bit of like, there's a bit of passing in the middle, and then it goes out to the wings again, and then Kent tries to work it in. If he can't work it in, it'll be passed out to Bassi or Barisic, or obviously Tav, and then it's like whipped in, like a whipped cross. In Europe it's not working, just personally for me, so I feel like they do need to try focus on a more direct style of play, which from the Real Madrid game, I feel like Sakala can bring to the table. I don't think he's like number one choice, but when we were watching him against Real Madrid, he was going through the middle a bit more, creating chances. At the weekend, Joe Aribo's goal, that was a brilliant goal. I think we need to see more of that, and more chances taken.
If you don't shoot, you don't score, Jodie.
100%.
And I think Aribo showed you that. It's good to see that he's got that in his locker, no?
Yeah.
You know, some interesting points there, Bridgeman.
Oh, yes, indeed. And you go along. By the way, our fans sitting in the stands have got all these points themselves. You know, they can see it, and some of them have lived through it many times. And we need people like Kent. Just talking about him, a young, fantastic player for us. We've got a wonderful player for himself as well. But for some reason or other, and I don't know whether it's a positional thing or what it is, or it's the shape of the team needs to change. I don't know.
No, right. We'll come to that, Bridge. We'll maybe come to that. I'll cut across you, mate, because we've been joined by Dave. How we doing, Dave?
How you doing, lads? You all right? Yeah.
Yeah, mate. What's on your mind?
Smiling still, yeah.
Yeah, we're always smiling, mate.
How are you doing, Bridgeman? You all right?
I'm doing very well, Dave. I hope that you're fine as well, pal.
Yes,
what's on your mind, Dave?
Colby. Yeah.
What's on your mind?
I think Rangers need another right back. I really do, because I watched the game against Ross County, and some of the defending was absolutely shocking.
I don't get it, Dave. I really don't get it. We lost 2 goals.
I don't either.
One was a penalty kick. One was for a free kick, which can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't get, and I'll say it again, I don't get all the criticism of the right back and the captain. I think he's turned into a whipping boy, and I think it's wrong. The guy on the near enough he uses everything he's got. Is he the best player we've ever had? No, he's no. But he's an important part of this team. I don't get the digging out of Tav. I really don't. I'll let Bridgeman take it, because I think he's in a similar view. Bridgeman?
Yeah, I've said my piece on it over the last couple of games. He's not the same form-wise. He's not the same Tavernier that we were playing like 3 months ago or something. The guy was brilliant, a real athlete. Very pleased to have him in my team. And at the present moment, at that present time, it was well worthy of the captainship of Rangers. But it's just something not right. That's not to say he's not trying, and he still tries to charge up the park. But a lot of the times he only goes like just over the halfway line, and the ball comes back to Golson. Whereas before he would venture forward.
But Bridge, what you're not getting credit to the other team, who on Sunday, if you really watched the game or watched it again and studied it, they set their team up, and as soon as it went to either wing, they put 3 there, marked Tav, marked the wide man, and made it difficult for them. So
they all do that, but they all do that. But that always happened to Tav before as well, and he always managed to get round it.
Aye, but is it the system? Is it Tav, or do we need to change? Is it my stubbornness of a 4-3-3? I just don't get. Look, Tav.
That's what I was getting at. I feel like Rangers are so predictable now, and I feel like teams are now knowing how to break down our attack. I just feel like the wing, it's just not going to work all the team. Everyone knows how a football team operates. They study their opponent, they work on analysis, they review their past games. Rangers, for me personally, every game has been a carbon copy of the last. We play it down the wings. We rely on Tav and Barasic and on Bassey to put in these whipped crosses. We're struggling with it, and that's why it's not working. So that's how, when I was trying to make my point, it's not that I'm dropping Tav for that reason. It's just simply I feel like I want to give someone else a chance to prove something, because I think they might try bring something different to play for the jersey. Whereas if you're talking on form, Tav all day long. But it's a shame, because all of the balls are usually relied on Tav for him to put the crosses in, to take the corners. But we're struggling from that now. And I don't necessarily think that's just down to our players. So I just think we're very good.
Here's a start for you. Who put the cross in for Golson's goal? Who put the ball through for Morelos' goal on Thursday night?
Tav.
Exactly, but it's just...
Yeah, is it no good that a right back's... that's your 5 goals and your right back's got assists for 2 of them. So stats. Just turned into a bit. Boy, in my opinion, Dave, you've got a different opinion for me, mate.
Yeah, I just don't understand. You know what I mean? I thought they learned the lesson from the Malmo game. You know what I mean? It seems like they're not learning the lessons. Steven Gerrard could only do what he can do, and then all the fans are getting on Steven Gerrard's back. You know what I mean? Saying, "Oh, they want him sacked and everything." You know what I mean? It's not. At the end of the day. Yeah.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I haven't even read it, to be fair. And I do a lot of reading. Yeah. You know, but so you think taking Tav out of our team, yeah, and I get we've got a great substitute there and a young boy cutting his heels. Do you think that would solve everything and we would become a startling team overnight just for Tav getting replaced? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, I really think if Tavernier is not, you know what I mean, showing, well, give somebody else a chance. You know what I mean? Rest him or something. If there's something going on, even Basic, what's happening to him? He just seems to be not there at all. He just seems to just give up. You know what I mean? And then they get on Ryan Kent's back, saying Ryan Kent is not doing any good either. It's just the same, you know what I mean? It's the same all the time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, they were shocking against Ross County. The defending was absolutely shocking, I thought.
Yeah, for the 2 incidents where those goals could have been prevented. I don't think the rest of the game, Jody, that Ross County were hardly up the park, were they? It was one way traffic.
I wouldn't agree with that comment. I don't think the defending was shocking. I think it was sloppy goals to give away, the penalty as well. But I wouldn't say it was shocking. However, other games I could maybe agree with you that the defending wasn't there. Another thing I feel like we're letting off too lightly is the midfield. We're not going to create chances if we're just constantly passing the ball back, etc. So I do agree with you, Ox, when you're saying that it's not just about blame Tav. It's not like the Tav's done everything wrong. So it's everyone's got something to say. Personally, for me, one of our best players is one of our oldest players, and that's Davis. And I feel like he is someone that when it's not going our way, he tries to make creative choices. If he loses a ball, he'll win it straight back. And I feel like he proper wants to make a difference. But what is Tav supposed to do? What's Barisic supposed to do when they're trying to make an attack and then the ball gets passed back? So then they're needing to play back deeper. And then it's like a break and play. All the momentum's gone. It's frustrating. I feel like the full team's a bit flat just now. And there was more promising. It was more promising gameplay going by the Ross County game. But I feel like the full team needs a pick me up. And I do think you're right to say. I know I've obviously turned around and said I would like to give Patterson a shot. That's just not Tav as a whole. I just think having I've always said young players who are Rangers fans will want to come out and make a difference if the team's not performing, because they'll be saying, if I can turn this around, think how this will look for the gaffer, and I've came up through the club. That's my reason why I'd want Patterson to play. It's not because I want Tav completely dropped. That was just my outlook. Whereas there's a lot of people I don't think are playing like they should be in the starting 11 just now. And like I said, Kent's one of them. Lindstrom's one of them. It's just hard just now, I think, and it probably is. Trial by social media isn't good either. You're going to get everyone putting opinions saying this person deserves to go, not happy with this, if I would have had this. But there's a good reason why we're all not the manager of Rangers. And it's probably for our opinions.
Yeah. I just think we're going to watch. We don't overreact. I mean, we started the season last season, and we started the season last season with a 1-0 win away. Then we had 2 games at home against St Mirren and St Johnstone. We won 3-0 both games, 7 goals scored. And then we scored no goals against Livingston. We drew nothing each. Yeah. So we've started the season, not brilliantly, but we've scored the same amount of goals at this time of the season after 3 games as we had last year. But we've lost 3 goals, and this time last season we'd lost none. So,
yeah, and I think that's it. And I think a lot of people were hurt with the Champions League, and we are a bit. We should have on paper beat Malmo. So there's a lot of frustration. So
that's
when they don't put out performances necessarily as good as that. I mean, I think it was 3 games on a bounce we'd lost. The good thing was it wasn't 3 league games, but because of that, there was we were deflated, spirits were low, etc. But when you look at it, Rangers and Celtic are both out of the Champions League. We're both we should both progress through Europa groups. Hopefully they don't, but we should. And we've both won. How many games have we won?
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
2, and we've lost 1.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are like for like. However, I think everyone was just expecting this new manager to come in at Celtic, not make a difference. They weren't expecting.
Can you watch your language on here, Jodie?
No, I'm not meaning they've made a massive difference, but I think they just expected it to go very flat. There'd be no belief, and it doesn't help when we've got basically the same stats, win, lose, draw, etc. We've got all of that basically the same, and you get papers hailing Celtic is a miracle.
Papers. Is this is all coming through the papers?
Maybe but you know what I mean? You can see people
story
getting
I'll cut across you, Jodie. We've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
How you doing, mate? All right.
All right. What's your name, mate?
It's Gary Patterson from New
How are we doing, Gary? Nice to talk to you, mate. First time on the show?
Aye, first time, mate.
Aye. Okay. Gary Patterson. Hope he's not having to come on to have a go at Tavern,
No, I'm absolutely not, by the way. I'll tell you something, my missus is raging. She loves Tavernier, man. She's got a tap on and everything. I love Tav. No, Aye, she's not happy about it. I'm on the night, mate, to ask it. I don't know whether somebody said this, because I joined a bit late, but what's going on with this COVID?
There's been a statement. There's been a statement for the club, very short and brief, that there's been positive COVID tests, and all the protocols are gone. There's some rumours floating about. We've picked up it's McLaughlin, but we'll see what happens. We don't want to put rumours out there that might not be true, mate. Yeah.
Aye. So the rumours I'm hearing on McLaughlin and McGregor and Tavernier and fucking blah blah blah.
Watch your language.
Sorry. You know the way it goes. You know what I mean?
That's Twitter. We'll wait and see what happens, mate. We don't want to speculate. I'm sure we'll find out in the next 24 hours if we don't hear this evening. Yeah.
Aye, but no, that's the reason why I was phoning anyway. Because obviously, I know that you usually get the lowdown now and again. Do you know what I mean? So
sometimes, mate, but no this.
I know. It's an absolute headache, guys. But see, at the end of the day, I believe we've got it in our locker. Do you know what I mean? To get out there and give him a game. Thursday night, fair enough. You go there and you go and do what you need to do. But see, Sunday, mate. See, I was saying earlier on, see, whoever it is at right back or whoever it is in defence, you go and see me boy Karogo. I've seen him play. He looks fast. He does look fast, and I'll give him that. See we kick him out of the park in the first 5 minutes, mate. I reckon the Bears will get a grip of him. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, it's a different game. It's going to be a strange game. Obviously, there's no opposing fans, which changes the dynamics of the match. Listen, if the two teams play, we win. No doubt in my mind, Gary.
Aye, that's my opinion completely, mate. See, at the end of the day, I reckon it doesn't matter who Rangers play. If Rangers turn up, then it doesn't matter who we play. We proved that in Europe. Do you know what I mean? We proved that. We proved it last season in the 4 Old Firm games. If we turn up, we never turned up to the Old Firms last season, and do you know what? We bloated them all over the park. Do you know what I mean? And it's at the end of the day, mate, I will say this as well. See this COVID thing, although it's one of these shaky ones, do you know what I mean? You say we're doing this, we're doing that, but see, to be honest, mate, we've got guys there that will step in and do that job.
Yeah, here it's just like getting injuries, Joe. Do you have to deal with it?
Aye. But
Yeah, totally.
And you go, Gary, on you go, mate.
that's the reason why I was calling, but just because I was thinking, your two keepers doing, do you know what I mean? And do you know what? They harm to Robbie McCrory. They harm to him at all. If the boys do their job in front of him, then at the end of the day, then he's a keeper at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? But I just reckon, I was thinking maybe Tav would take that boy, that Kyogo, and maybe give him a lesson. Or, see, at the end of the day, mate, young Nathan Patterson hasn't to be rubbish. He plays as a right back. He will play as a right back. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if he's going to go out there and play against that boy, then he's going to have to go and do a job on him. And we expect that for every Rangers player. But man, do you know what I mean? That's the way it goes.
Bridgeman, in you come.
I think it's going to be difficult for Rangers no matter what. But it's tantalising thought that Tavernier is going to come out and take care of that Kyogo, whatever his name is, Akashari, whatever his name is. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that boy is going to play a certain position, and it might take John Lundstrom to take him out in somewhere. I don't think it will be John Lundstrom.
He plays up front, Bridge. He'll be against Talander and he'll be.
Well, he may be, but I think he's one of these. I think he's one of these guys that will play just in front of the midfield. To be honest,
well, he plays right up top, Bridge.
He plays up top, mate. He's played left in 2 games, and he's played. I reckon they might thrust him into the middle to go direct at Rangers. And see that? I would have
that's where you'll need. That's where you'll need a John Lundstrom or someone like that to pick that up. You can't afford to have anybody running full tilt. How are we
getting Lundstrom in this
team? I don't know.
It might not be Lundstrom. I don't believe Lundstrom's going to even be in that team on Sunday.
No, I'm not necessarily meaning actually Lundstrom. I'm saying someone in that position. You've got to take up the position just in front of the back four. That's what I'm meaning. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I know what Stephen Davis does.
Well, but I need Stephen Davis to be free. We need him to be free and to be able to create the play, make the play up. That's what. Otherwise,
so we could play Hadji then.
Well, not there.
There's no way Hadji's not going to be that far back to catch that boy. You know what I mean? Doesman, you know that the same as Addy. Hadji's going to be up there. We want him threatening. Same as Frank Kent.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that.
Do you know who's been desperate to come and join us? Mr. Fox has been coming in. I think he's took the gag off with the Tavernier thing. He's sitting there. Mr. Fox, in you come, mate. How are you?
Good evening. I'm answering the phone, pal. Sorry.
All right, you'll be right back. Okay, mate. All right. We'll get you in a second. Right. In you come, Carl. In you come, Dave. Give your last words, mate. No, ever. Just on the show tonight.
So Lundstrom, yeah, you're not going to play Lundstrom, so Hadji will have to start for Sunday's game against Celtic, wouldn't he?
Oh no, it depends what you're talking about. I mean, you've got Kamara, you've got Stephen Davis, and then you've got Joe Aribo, you've got Scott Arfield.
Guys, I don't know whether you agree with me, but see Scott Arfield, I'd have him in my team every week, but especially against that rotten mob, I'd have him in my team, mate, because he's got heart and desire. He goes for a team. Do you know what I mean?
It's just his form, mate. I know he got a goal on Sunday, Scott Arfield, but he was anonymous against Malmo, mate. Anonymous.
No, he was. But at the end of the day, mate, so was Scott Wright. Do you know what I mean? Scott Wright came on there, and the boy looked terrified.
He wasn't great, mate. He wasn't great.
Listen, I don't think we should be taking it away from any player against Malmo. I think the full team were rotten, to be honest.
It's a team game. We've also been joined by our Cal. How are we doing, Cal?
I'm doing fine. What's wrong with you? Can somebody remind you all that we won on Sunday 4-2? We scored 4 goals. You know what I mean?
I get it, Carl. I get it. Bridgman, he's right. We scored 4 goals.
Exactly, guys. I agree with that. He scored 4 goals against a team that just done Aberdeen 1-0. Do you know what I mean?
You know what it's like? You would think we'd lost the league already, the way yous are going on. Calm down a bit. Sunday will take care of itself. Let's get Thursday done and dusted.
I think you're going to be too far. We're trying to talk about the Rangers, going to who they're going to play and how they're going to play it. That's what we're talking about, not last week's game. So that's all. People are putting suggestions forward. Who are putting forward what we thought of certain things. Not they wonder why the fans are wondering why the same team, same personnel available, and we're not playing that well. That's the question. That's the question.
At the end of the day, guys, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to nullify what's coming up against us. And see, at the end of the day, we're all looking at it. We're all saying, "Oh, he's a bit
can you look at that yet? Can you look at Sunday? You've got to Jody. I'll go to Jody next for this. Jody, you can't. I know we get excited, and then Carl. We look at Sunday. It's always on the horizon for us, but you can't do any planning until you get Thursday out of the way. Jody.
Totally. Thursday needs to be the priority. I've not once said that, like, I don't know if it's been picked up, I don't know how it comes across, like, when you're listening to it. I'm not once criticising the team. My point, and I made that very clear at the start, is I'm not happy with our defence, and we haven't changed our defence. We've not brought in new players, we've not replaced anyone, we've not lost anyone. That's why I'm confused. That's personally my opinion. But Thursday has to be the main priority. Everyone gets carried away, focuses on who's going to win. Rangers or Celtic, how many are we going to take off them? What's it going to be like if we don't win? How does that stand? But Thursday is a massive game for us, and it does have to be that. And the result on Thursday will also give the players confidence going into Sunday. Likewise, if we don't get the result on Thursday, then that will give the opposition for Sunday I thought into how we're doing, but Thursday's the main focus for now.
I totally agree with that. I think that Thursday's major important, right? But see, at the end of the day, see when you're going into a league game against Celtic, first game of the season at Ibrox, you've got to go out there and you've got to do them. Do you know what I mean?
But you can't make any plans to Thursday's out of the way. Gary, you can't make any plans.
No, mate, honestly, it doesn't mean Thursday's out the way. I see, to be honest, mate, and listen, I hope I don't eat my words.
Let's get Thursday on the way first.
Aye, okay, all right. Listen, Gary, have we lost? Never lost. I think I've lost somebody. Listen, Dave, you come in, Dave. Listen, we've got some more callers coming in. Always good to hear from you, Dave, boy.
Yeah, it is. You all take care of yourselves and keep supporting the Rangers, because the Rangers need you, and keep supporting them. We'll come through, don't worry. And we'll beat them puddle drinkers on Sunday and on Thursday night. So
cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Right, then, take care. Keep safe.
Cheers,
bye.
Mate.
Ox.
Yes, Callum.
I don't want. I mean, I was watching it, and it was getting it's a bit over the top with it, you know. I mean, you can't. We've just got to live with what we've got to know. We'll get through it. Sunday takes care of itself. I don't want to see wholesale changes. I want Thursday done and dusted. Because I remember when the good debuts to Shea Ojo against Celtic, you'll remember that yourself. The guy was like a rabbit stuck in the headlights. You know? I wouldn't have played Lundstrom against him anyway.
Not at the moment, mate, but you never know.
No, but it depends on injuries. But whatever happens on Thursday, it can only get decided after that, you know?
Exactly. Hello, you back with us, Gary? Sorry, mate. The interruption.
Aye, no problem, mate. I think it was my fault, to be honest. I think I cut you off.
Don't worry. Listen, mate, thanks for taking the time for phoning us. We're going to be going to the tune in a second. First time caller. Enjoyed your call, enjoyed some of your points. How long have you been listening for?
Mate, I've been listening for the very start. Actually, my wee mate, Si Leslie, who was running on
all right, okay.
Rangers thing.
Rangers TV,
always in about it. Aye, mate, and I've had a season book all my life, do you know what I mean? And I bring my wee boy into it now, and they're listening in the living room, do you know what I mean? So it's like, wait, mate, see, at the end of the day, I think the best thing that's ever happened to Rangers is what happened to us, do you know what I mean? We'll not go there, but it's absolutely brought the Bears together, do you know what I mean? And all these things are happening now, and we've all got views, and we could be wrong sometimes, and we could be right sometimes. But at the end of the day, mate, we stick together, and that mob across the fucking planet called ourselves
Oh, it seems to have cut itself off again.
Right, Ox, I'm off.
All right.
I'm going to watch the rest of the show so my missus can shirk geese for all being negative.
Well said. I'm surrounded by them tonight, mate. I feel like custard with my last stand tonight.
Well, I was talking to Fox before I come on, and he's on your side.
Yes,
because
mate,
Fox is Picasso, well, you know that.
Oh, well, Fox is for a lot of places, mate. Yeah, that's how he's called, the Fox.
Right, okay. Talk to you later, boys. Have a good evening.
Cheers.
Keep your spirits up.
Yeah,
We're going to win. It's all right.
Cheers,
Bye.
Carl. Cheers, Carl. Cheers. Right, okay. A wee bit of debate's always healthy, Jodie. Always healthy.
Yeah. I say, whenever I make a comment, I'll say people will listen and they'll be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about, or I don't agree with that. But that's why it's a call-in show. We like to hear other people's opinions.
Here.
I don't want anyone to think, though, that any of my comments were me saying that Rangers aren't going to win, or that we're not good enough. I'll say this hand on heart, no disputing, no doubts in my mind. We're 1,000 times the team that the other people are, I fully expected us out of them. I feel like, and I did mention how I know I've turned around and said some negatives about the team, but on paper we're the exact same. So I don't see why. I also agreed that I don't see why people are running away with opinions. So I know that's what I said. We're sitting talking live. We don't get to hear this and how it comes across. So I don't want anyone out there thinking that I'm not behind the team. I think we'll get a result on Thursday and
people
Sunday.
People have got their opinions. I mean, I've gave Hadgett title. I've been critical of Ryan Kent this season. I didn't think that Borna was great against Malmo, along with a few others, you know. People see the game how they see it, yeah.
Yeah, I think just the point I made runs true. When you don't see much change being made to players going in and out, you're left with the question, well, the chemistry's there between the team. They've played with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I know
the better never stops, Jodie. You've got to keep tweeting and try to improve. Right, a wee announcement to make for those that's listening. It's been put out in Facebook, Twitter, etc. You've got a chance to win the shirt worn by Marvin Andrews in Helicopter Sunday. And a raffle, it's £10 per entry. All monies are going to the Erskine Glasgow Home at Anniesland to assist the care of veterans dedicated dementia unit. The draw will take place at the annual bowling tournament for the Rangers supporters Erskine Association, Erskine Appeal, which takes place on Saturday, the 4th of December. They're £10 each. They can be done online at justgiving.com/Marvin5. It's the actual top. It was worn on the Keep Believing on the Helicopter Sunday 2005. A great donation by Big Marv. If you go there, you'll see a picture of the stop. If you're in the West End of Glasgow and you don't want to go online, you can purchase tickets in Stumps Bar and Partick, and all the money is going to the Rangers supporters. Erskine Appeal to support our veterans who have got dementia. A great cause, Jodie.
What an amazing contribution that is. I'm going to jump on that and get a few donations in, by the way. I need to win that.
A chance of winning that bit of history. Well, get yourself in mute. We're going to have a tune.
Took a trip to Eyebrow, my favorite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldiers' song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came around. The Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Finian Tully was drowning everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags, they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure, it started, and the Rangers, they turned the tide. Won't we play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Walker, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park, for the sash my father wore. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn. Then on for to Ian McCall. McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic centre half, and then goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardie Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson, and then goes number 3. Well, it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Oh, it's a happy new year from Ibrox Park, and Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes! Come on, Rangers.
I feel like you singing nights like driving a Ford Cortina when you got a Rolls Royce sitting there with Jodie's Airbridge.
That's all right. Jodie can carry on. No problems.
All right, okay. We'll be joined by Gary B. How we doing, Gary?
How we doing, everybody? We all right?
Aye, we're good, mate.
Hi,
We're
Gary.
good.
Aye, brilliant, Gary.
Good stuff, good stuff. I've just literally walked in the door from work, seen the news on the feed there on the show about the COVID outbreak, and then read the statement. So let's hope it's not as bad as what people are rumouring. But I don't even think. Let's be honest. It's only the goalkeepers in my mind that would throw up serious problems. But the young boy McCrory's there for a reason. He's done well when he's went on loan, and he's been kept at the club, so he's capable. So we just have to hope he can step up and not feel the pressure too much. But the rest of the squads can absorb the potentially names that have been put out there. And I think we've got to concentrate on Thursday. Sunday's got to be an afterthought. £10 million is what Thursday's about. And you take your eye off the ball, and we'll get. We don't want to take your eye off the ball. We have to go over that last hurdle.
Totally, Gary. Listen, come 5:45 on Thursday evening, our whole focus will turn to Sunday. Always does, mate. It's always there for us. But Thursday's a massive game, mate. Yeah.
Definitely. And the man that rang up there, the passionate lad who just rang up and had a go and said about negativity, I think Rangers have turned a corner. I really do. I think we as a support, when we go high, we go really high and go overboard, and when we go low, man, we go really low. We kind of never, just tread water, do it, as a support. So we just have to realise that, you know, winning 4-2 away from home up in Dingwall, you know, and playing the way that the team's playing, I think that's a good result. And the 2 goals, you know, it's not like, you know, we got found out or anything like that. He got the break of the ball to score the first goal, and the second goal was kind of, you know, Bassey's done his job. He's just, you know, he's blocked the ball. Yeah, better luck.
Yeah. You know, it could come off his shoulder and went over the bar, and we wouldn't even be talking about it, would we?
Yeah, exactly, mate. So it's not like, you know, anybody's messed up. Or I think the team all performed well on Sunday. I don't think there was anybody. I don't think we carried anybody in the game. I think, you know, we don't want to speculate, but I'll speculate a wee bit because I suppose we can a wee bit. If it is Tav that suit me, maybe COVID might do the job of Gerrard, that Gerrard maybe not willing to do himself, which is to give Tav a rest and give part in a game, because that boy needs to fly, and if the only way that he gets a chance on that pitch to show what he can do in an Old Firm game is COVID, then so be it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we have potentially got a superstar.
We have to wait and see what happens in Thursday first.
100%.
Yeah, you know. Jodie, in you come. Speak about Gary's points.
No, I think he made amazing points, especially obviously the main focus being Thursday. Couldn't agree any more with that. And you're pretty much on the same path that I've been trying to say. I think it's not really that Tav fully needs. He does need a rest, but it's not that we've gave up on Tav. Just would like to see Patterson go get a run at it and show what he's made of. It's good to get a goal, but I think you're totally right. I think the Rangers fan base, even myself included in that, we are the most bipolar fan base that you could ever meet in your life. We're very, very high, we're very, very low. There's never any in between. One day we're singing and dancing, the next day we're greeting. So I totally get what you mean. People have their emotional highs and lows, but that's part of the game, isn't it? That's football. And
that's a description of no heard. I like it, Jodie. I like it.
Honestly, we are. We're the most bipolar fan support, but it is. You've got such a level head, and I wish I had that.
No, it's just it's a passion. You just always want the team to do better and better and better. And we set high standards last year, and it might have been that was us at our max with this squad, and we'll have to.
And
a
positive to look at it is: would you rather us be moaning, talking about this at the end of the season, or would you rather us be having this discussion now?
That's a good point.
And I think we'd all agree we'd rather have it now.
Good point, Gary. Then we'll go to Bridge.
I think it's always, you've talked about difference in opinions, and Jodie kind of, and wrongly in my opinion, felt she had to defend herself. Everybody's got an opinion, and everybody should be able to share their opinion, and see people that don't. I've got no problem with somebody disagreeing with my opinion. What I don't like is people tell me that my opinion's wrong, and I shouldn't have that opinion.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Everybody should have opinion. Listen to me, and then they know who's right. That's how it works.
What a shocker.
And you come, Bridge, man.
Everybody's allowed an opinion. You're absolutely right. And so it should be. And I love to do the critique, and there are certain concerns that all the fans have got. I hear them every week. I'm every week on Ibrox, and among them you can hear similar thought processes of myself, and some of them slightly more right-wing, you know. They come straight out with it, as we've all heard. And you wonder, when are these people thinking about, why are they so angry? Because that's what it feels like. They're angry all the time, you know.
Right,
maybe they're concerned.
All right,
passion shows in different ways, doesn't it?
No, Jodie, it's a family show. Yeah, you're right, mate. People get frustrated. They voice a bit of their frustrations about the team, about life in general. Whether we're winning 2-0, losing 2-0. It's because people care, and it's like a drug, Gary. And then we've been joined by Big Ulster. On you go, Gary.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, it's when people say you're wrong, and it's just an opinion. You can't be wrong if you've got an opinion. People can say that I don't agree with your opinion, but within reason. I mean, I've had differences of opinions with this bus thing going on. We won't go into that, but I basically said what I said, and somebody went, "Oh, you're wrong," and it got a bit heated, and I went, "How can I be wrong? I know what's right and I know what's wrong. How can my opinion be wrong?" Do you know what I mean? No.
We've been joined by Big Ulster. How are we doing, big man?
Doing well. Hope these are all keeping good.
I hope you've not got an opinion. How are we doing, big man?
It'd be a boring world if everybody had the same opinion.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. But it's what's on your mind, Biggie?
No, just listening in there. It was a great show as always, guys and gals. I was just sort of thinking about the whole, obviously, like everyone else's statements that's come through there with the COVID, which isn't great. First and foremost, hope whatever players do have it or whoever's affected are safe and well, and hopefully they don't get it's not too bad for them while they have it and they recover sort of quick as possible. But I suppose it's like anything else, big game on Thursday. And the Old Firm game will look after itself. I know some of the supporter panicking a wee bit about the game on Sunday, maybe a bit nervous. But what we'll have to remember is, in big derby games, form normally goes out the window, and it's who wants it more in the game. And I'm sort of thinking maybe we've got a bit of an edge there because we have more players in our team that have been through the Old Firm games and know what they expect. So I'm hoping that maybe carries us through on the day if we're not affected by too many players with this COVID outbreak.
Yeah, well, we need to get Thursday out the way, big man, and then the term you used there is spot on. Sunday will take care of itself. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it, mate. Yep. It will indeed, but the big game is Thursday. This is as Bridge always says, our next games are most important, our biggest of the season. So let's get ourselves through this. I think the weather's to be crazy warm, but hopefully we can get the job done and without any injuries.
Well, we played. It was too hot for Real Madrid when we played them. It's what he does, that day. But listen, big man, give your thoughts on the team. How it's gone and your thoughts. Just interested to hear what you've got to say.
I think it hasn't been a great start to the season, but maybe it's probably more to do with we were so good last season. We've expected a bit more from the team this season to sort of carry it on, but sometimes it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately, in football. But I think the performance on Sunday there, I was a wee bit nervous about going to Ross County because I was thinking maybe drop another couple of points there, but it was good to see the team playing better. It was a wee bit dodgy in the defence, but going forward a lot better. Just need to get their confidence again, but there's just players that haven't been performed this season, unfortunately. Kent being one, and he's one of the guys that we really look to unlock teams more often than not. But I think we'll be fine. It's like anything. You have your wee dips in seasons. We're having ours early, but that doesn't mean we can't kick on here in the next few games and get ourselves right into this season.
Mm-hmm. If we were to win our next two games, mate, obviously if we don't win, it would be different. But this time next week, the show will be in a completely different place, yeah?
Exactly. And then a wee bit like you're talking about the bipolarness, then we'll be on top of the world again, thinking we're going to win everything. So
I think Jodie might be right. Maybe she's diagnosed a lot. Gary B.
Maybe
I wouldn't use bipolar, but I think it's a brilliant description. It did make me laugh when she said it. No, I've said it for years. I think, your man Ulster, he's spot on. Last year, it was a freak season. We were that good, and not a single person expected that last season to go the way it went. So, going into this season, it would have been very difficult to get anywhere near how good we were last season. So, to start off, with that, and it kind of happens with Malmo. You're always up against it with Malmo. Champions League qualifier. It's not going to be an easy game. And what happened, and then all of a sudden the players are under the microscope. They've not been under the microscope in that same way for over a year really. And the pressure got to some of them, and they just have to deal with that. That is part and parcel of being at a club the size of Rangers, and that's the first time they felt that pressure. Some performing under it and some don't. So I think we'll turn the corner. I mean, we've got such a big squad. You know, we'll always overcome what's in front of us. I think we'll be fine.
Aye, listen, it's quite funny how quickly. I mean, Ulster, and I'll go to Jodie after Ulster with us. Ryan Kent, and I have been critical of Kent in the last few weeks at times, but after the Real Madrid game, I was saying he's got all these things in his locker, he can go wherever he wants. And it actually looks a guy who maybe needs a goal or something to happen for him. To me, he looks a bit void of confidence. Ulster, then Jodie.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a confidence issue there. Things aren't just that's the way it goes, mate, you know. But it's like anything, you know, if it's felt fit and available for the next 2 games, say he scores on Sunday, he's normally good. In the Old Firm games especially for us, he always turns it on. And the key for him to have his confidence. He's a great player and he will be a great player. You know, you don't lose that ability, but sometimes confidence, you know, can just knock you back a wee bit. But I have no qualms, you know. I think he'll come good. He's too good not to, but hopefully we'll see the Kent that we all know quicker sooner than later.
And he has been very consistent in the Old Firm games, Jodie.
He has been, yeah. And I think something we noticed when we first signed him is if he hasn't got a goal or hasn't got an assist or hasn't been at his best, his confidence does drop, and that is something, like you said, I think if he gets that, just something to bring that spark back, we'll see a completely different player. But he is someone that turns up in big games. I know we've seen him missing in a few, but for the big occasions where we really need to call upon him, he has put a shift in and has got a result for us, and he does understand what the Old Firm fixture is about. Let's just hope he's up to the task for Thursday, though, first and foremost.
Aye. Listen, it's all right. Ryan Kent's no doing it, and all right. At times, Tavernier's done it. Lundstrom's been get a bit of criticism, and sometimes Julie as well in the individual performances in games. But Bridgeman, it is a team game, eh?
You better believe it's a team game, and we have. Ulster mentioned it there a couple of minutes ago. There, this is the biggest game of the season for us. No matter what anyone says. Biggest game of the season coming up, but we need a team. We need to go and play as a team together. That's what we need to do. Learn to read each other's thoughts, the way we play. We did it most of last season. I think we were brilliant last season. We showed everybody how well we can play. We've just got to fire up this season so far. Just got to fire up. And I'm so looking forward to seeing them doing that against that Alice Kerr. Because remember the last time we went under Casino when we won 1-0 at Ibrox and we went abroad and we got beat 2-9. Unbelievable. Can't afford that.
We've been joined by Big Al. Good evening to you, big man.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, good morning. Ladies. Sorry. Good morning.
No, you're all right. You were talking, I heard you mentioning Arfield there, and you said lack of form. He's not really been in the team to judge his form, has he?
Did he play against Dundee United and Malmo, mate?
Aye, but what I'm saying is, well, what I'm going to say is, with 2 players in the team that have had a real bad lack of form, but the manager's persisted with them, and that'll be Kent and Tavernier.
Well, I didn't think Kent was. He was better in the second half on Sunday. I don't get the negativity about Tav's performance on Sunday, big man. I don't get it.
Oh, I know you've had a bit of love in with him this morning, but it's not just Sunday. It's since Tavernier's been at the club, there's been a constant murmuring. People aren't happy with him. I think that tells us a lot about him. But the manager's never going to drop him, is he? He's had ample chances to drop him or rest him this season. To play another young player in there.
He brought the boy in the cup tie, and the boy never set the header on fire, did he? He done okay.
No, he's a lot talk about sort of opinions in it. So your opinion.
Listen,
for me.
How do you think it's going to go on Thursday, big man?
Well, it's going to be another difficult game, but I think we've got enough in the team as long as he plays Arfield and he plays Patterson, I think we'll win the game.
Nice one, Big Al. Nice one.
Aye, but just on that as well, you did mention, and I did study the game. I've watched it about 6 or 7 times since then, and I did notice that the 3 players, Mark and Tav. If you noticed that,
killing the space, aye. Yeah.
I'm
and that's
bringing you up. I watched it once. I didn't even notice it. All praise to you, man. But what I'm getting at is, if you notice that, then why is the manager not changing things?
Because
not because it's Tav. Just change that pattern of play, because I think sometimes the managers can be a bit stubborn and playing this 4-3-3. We've not got that midfielder. I think we all praise Stephen Davis, and he's a good player, but I don't think he's a player that can change a game. Yeah, we didn't have that midfielder there that I think can put his foot in the ball and actually change it. Like
he's a conductor, mate, but he's no your star.
I'm not being critical of Davis. He's a wonderful player. I'm just saying that maybe that is where a Ryan Kent and a Hadji come into play, but he never signed MD. Lundstrom at the moment doesn't seem as if he's ever going to be that type of player. He's up there with a Ryan Jack, I think. Just an average player playing in a pretty bad league.
Listen, we miss Ryan Jack, mate. Ryan Jack, mate, is a big cog in our wheel.
But the similarities there to him, Davis and Kamara, I mean, they're none of them are much different, if that makes sense. We've nobody there that really can put his stamp on a game.
Big man, I love you to bits, mate, but do you watch Glenn Kamara? He's a top footballer.
I never said he wasn't.
No, he can do
but he doesn't drive forward. He doesn't score goals.
No.
I know. Wait a minute here. I'm talking about a player that's a lot more skillful than Glenn Kamara. Glenn Kamara's a good player. He does his job well, if you like, but he never breaks forward and scores goals. That's what I'm meaning. I'm talking about a player that can actually dictate a game. I don't think Glenn Kamara dictates a game. He is very left and right. That's about left, right, and then back to Goldson or back to Davis. I'm talking about in that midfield moving forward, penetrating. I don't think he's that type of player. Davis isn't that type of player, and I don't think Glenn Kamara, Ryan Jack's that type of player. Lundstrom doesn't seem to be that type of player. That's what I mean. We're missing that. We're missing that link, I think.
What are you looking for? And let's be honest, we're maybe looking for a Gascoigne type of player that's going to score 15 goals for midfield in a season and bust through the middle, yeah?
That's similar type of player. I understand that.
But I get your point, but Glenn Kamara's a top football player, mate.
He's a good player.
Big Ulster.
Yeah, no, Al's right. Like Stephen Davis is a different player and playing a different role than the Stephen Davis we probably got the first time round. Probably because he just hasn't got the legs to probably go in more of that attacking sort of role in the midfield when he used to do the wing and stuff as well, and he was productive. But now he's, as you said, he's the conductor more. You get a steady game out of him. It's very rare you see a mistake.
14 years ago he left. He came to his mate. He's a little bit older,
Yeah, he's just not. And the same for Northern Ireland too. We were relying on him quite often in the midfield to make things happen, and sometimes now, he's just not. It's just not the player he is anymore. It's just that's what happens. But he's still a player that'll always give you, a 7 or 8 out of it. It's just a steady Eddie really in the midfield. But as Al says, we are probably missing that person who's a real creator in the midfield, and we've struggled with that. But I was hoping Aribo would maybe do that, but you see Aribo, I think, is a great player, and you see flutters of him. But I think, if he was playing his top game and in the middle, he could maybe be that player for us. But I know I've listened to Al before, and Al's not really set on Aribo too much. I know you you don't think he's maybe got it, but I still have he does, mate, but it's all about opinions, as we were talking about earlier.
Aye.
Well, we're interested to see what kind of player this Bacuna is for his Big Al. Bacuna that we've signed, because I've not seen him live, and
I'm not
we're interested to see what type of player he is for us, Has he got that, if you like, the fairy dust, the sparkle, the something?
Can he play in the team? Can he play in the team on Thursday and Sunday?
I'm not sure, mate. Obviously Sunday, it's a league match, yeah. Yeah, he's not played a lot of football. I believe he's not played a game since June. So
see, that was a thing I was thinking about. See, years ago, maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe I'm just. See, years ago when we signed a player, he was straight in the team, playing, and now am I wrong in that and saying that?
Sometimes
we never had this unique. I know the COVID thing's different, but you sign a player, that's your new player. Get him in. Get him playing, because you sign a player to improve your team. Now we seem to sign players and we never see them. you know what I mean? Aye,
maybe just modern football, I want it.
Aye, Sakala. He's injured, isn't he?
He's got a groin strain, but hopefully he'll be fit. Yes, Gary. And then we'll go.
I'm going to drop off the call. Just before I go, I'm going to share some good news, good COVID news. It's most of you or some of you will know, my son got accepted into the Royal Marine Band Service to start the musical training to become a musician. But he caught COVID last week and they basically revoked his application. But he's just passed positive and they've let him back in again, so that's good news. He came back negative.
Negative.
Great news.
So,
great news.
Good. He was going to have to wait 12 months to reapply, so that's I'll be a sigh of relief because I get ready on next month. That's brilliant news.
Tell him to play the Prince of Wales March.
And if he's wanting any tips on the triangle, Skipper and Big Ulster can sort him out.
Brilliant. Everybody take care. I'm going to have my dinner, right? Okay. Keep believing, everybody.
Cheers. Big Ulster, that triangle's never going to leave you, is it?
No. I've moved on to the drum now, but I still get slagged for that. But sure, it's all part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Skipper's still holding it upside down, mate.
Brilliant.
Jody, Big Al's looking for this sparkle, this guy in midfield. Yeah, I get it. Guys maybe going to make their passes. I think Kamara and others prodded with Stephen Davis could be what we're looking for. I think there's times to play Aribo and Hadji in the same team, particularly Ibrox, when we're going to be playing against defences. I think they can both open up defences.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, Ox, but I do need to say that I also agree with the points made, because I said at the start of the show, I think we lack so much creativity in the midfield. And a lot of I know we were missing Kamara for quite a part, so that could be the reason why. But I feel like our midfielders do mostly play a support role, and they're playing a bit more deeper or holding the midfield rather than going for an attack. Like you said, very hard to come by players like Gaza, etc., or even players like Gerrard. To try and
Gerrard still looks as if he could play Jody.
And I'll get him out. Like, we'll just let's change that. Player manager sorted. But I do need to agree. I do feel like the defence always gets it in the neck. And like we'll go against Kent, etc. But the midfield are just equally to blame. We've said it all night. It's a team game, and it would be nice to see some more of an attacking role, or just a bit more creativity in the midfield, and to support us a bit more rather than just playing the whole, like, holding back, and more of a support role in the midfield.
Can I
just add to that?
Sorry. Well, one at a time. On you go, Bridgeman.
I was just going to say that I mentioned Kamara a wee while ago, and Jodie's saying there about this Saturday, the next thing. But really, I'm thinking we really, really missed Kamara, and I thought it was a really, really sad day that boy ended up getting banned for 4 or 5 games, and he had actually never did nothing other than gub the guy in the tunnel with us.
Allegedly,
of course. But yes, just we have been, shall we say, as a club, we've been punished because it's some individual in another club. And that's really wrong. So anyway, it's just to say, I think we've sorely missed, for a number of games, we've missed Kamara, and it's shown big style. And he, again, has missed the games, which will give add to his confidence.
All right, Big Al, quickly then, we'll be joined by Andrew. On you go, big man.
Just in regard to the game on Sunday, Aribo, the typical example of Aribo, what a wonderful goal. But that was it, I think.
He was man of the match, Al.
I just didn't see it, man. He scored that goal, and before the goal, I don't think he done much, and after the goal, I don't think he done much either.
Big Ulster, he was man of the match by a distance.
Yeah, I like Aribo. I think he's a cracking player. I thought he had a good game, but it goes back to this opinion thing. Different people say the game's different. Some people think Kent's playing really well, and others are saying he's not. Same as with the Tav situation. So it just depends what way you're watching it. But for me, I think Aribo's a really good player.
Yeah, okay. We'll be joined by Andrew. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, Bridgeman. Good evening, Jody. Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all? I just want to go on, first of all, just to the players. I'm not going to say who players are that, because I don't know. I've not got a clue. I'll wait for Rangers to report that, then I'll believe it. But tomorrow is our main aim. We need to get that win tomorrow. Whoever is out, the ones that are replacing them need to get that jersey on, and the whole team need to come back, getting into this next round, into these group stages, and that's just massive importance. And as Bridgeman says, before that's what we need to do. Then we'll concentrate on Sunday. Going back to a point that you were making earlier, Bridgeman, I think you mentioned, I don't think we've had any centre backs playing 2 games together. I've had a wee look back there, and you're just almost right. There's only been, which I think is concerning. There's only been one game, which was Dundee United and Malmo, the first Malmo match, which was Goldson and Hollander. That were together. The Levy game, as you know, Goldson, Balogun, Malmo, the second one, Goldson, Balogun, Dunfermline, Goldson, Simpson, Alice Kert, Hollander, Goldson, Ross County, Balogun, Goldson. But, we need to sort this defence out. We really need. We need to try and get a settled defence, and it's a big problem, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I take that on board, and I agreed with Bridge earlier on. I think the thing is, if you look at it, Hollander hasn't played a lot of games in a row. Ever for us, he's always had breaks in his service, if you like. But for me, Hollander and Goldson, as we sit today, are our best 2 centre-backs, Jody, and then Big Ulster.
I'd agree. I would agree that it would be Goldson and Hollander for me. I think you hear the arguments all the time that Hollander's not got pace, but I'm confident with him on the ball, more so than I am with Balogun. So that would be my pairing.
I agree with Jody. Absolutely. I've always said it's Goldson and Hollander for me as well. But I go back to what Jody said earlier as well. If we were buying anywhere we didn't strengthen, I think it could have been defensively if we were going to buy anyone. But for me, the defensive duo at the minute has got to be Hollander. Now, I mean, there's 7 games there that and a draw, and Hollander's been played twice, and for me, he is our best centre back.
Ulster?
Yeah, no, I agree with the comments. Like with Hollander, for me, he's definitely in that team, no doubt about it. If I was the manager, I'd have him in every single week. He lacks a wee bit of pace, but Davy Weir had no pace. And the good thing is that Hollander can read a game, and sometimes that can get you out of trouble. You don't need the pace if he can read a game well, and I think he does, to be honest. I think he's our best centre-back. That's just my opinion. People love Goldson. But if I was picking a defensive pair, and would have Coulson and Hollander in that team every single week, because that's important to any successful team. You want to try and keep two centre backs that can learn to play off each other, and I think Big Hollander's the man.
Big Al.
I believe the manager said the other day there that he has to manage Philip Hollander. He can't play one game a week or whatever it is. I'm not verbatim with that, but if that's the case, see you later, Philip. We need to get a defender in that can consistently play as our top defender. Why have we got a player there that we can only play once or twice?
I think when you look at it,
he is the best defender.
Without checking it out, mate, and I haven't checked it, I'm going to look and see how many games he's actually played for us, but it looks as if he can sort of play 3 out of 4. He never seems to play like 4.
Well, I listened to that Heart and Hand, that Edgar boy. He was telling it, because somebody asked that question 2 or 3 times. He said he'd asked the manager the same question, and that was the manager's response. And I believe it was in some press conference that he can't play more than 1 or 2 games in a row. So to me, that's a deficiency in the team. If you've got a good defender, and there's no getting away from it, he's a good defender, and I would prefer him in the team. But I'd like to think if you manage him, he only needs to play games then. If you're managing him, don't train him, just play him in the games. If that would help him. If no, we need to get a defender that's consistent.
He hasn't played a lot when you actually look at it, Big Al.
No, I know.
He's played 51 games.
I like him.
That's 2 years he's been with the club. 2 years he's been with the club, so he's averaging
that's a big problem, isn't it?
25 games. He's actually averaging, as we sit, it's only about 15 league games over 2 seasons.
Right, well, that's not good enough.
I get I see what you're saying, but I still think him and Goulson are our best 2 centre halves at the moment.
Yes, definitely. I'm in total agreement with you there, but you're wanting to see more out of him.
Mm-hmm. I never realised, Jody, how little games he'd actually played in the 2 years.
Because you see where I was coming from, because then you've got Goulson that played every single game last season. So you totally see where he's coming from, because...
Thanks, Jody. It's really nice to support him in that.
No, but you get...
You're a creep, Megan.
No, but you get the quality aspect. If you play for Rangers, you do expect that the levels are there, or we should be signing players that are going to, we can rely on changing your defence. Everyone knows that. I know the reason we've got quite a big defensive team, I would say, is for the strength and depth, but you do need to have those that you rely on and you call upon. And if we're all sitting here collectively saying Hollander's our best defender, it is frustrating hearing how little he's played.
Was that a surprise to you, Bridgeman, these stats, how little he's actually played?
Oh, I don't think I think you mentioned something like this last season, the tail end of last season.
Somebody's got a telly on. Is it you, Bridge?
No.
Carry on. I'm surprised at that All-Star. I'll look at it. Somebody said he played a lot of games in Europe. I'll look at it. He's played in Europe. He's played a total of 14 games, and 2 of them were this season. Yeah, so he's only played 14 games in 2 years in Europe. Not the same numbers as the other players. All-Star. I'm actually surprised when I seen that. Yeah,
I know. I don't understand this. He can't play 2 games a week, and I don't buy into it either, to be honest. Just don't buy into that there. But he's playing for Sweden, and stuff. He's in their international side. You don't bring players like that. And Sweden's a good side, and they've a lot of options back there. Bring a man who can't play 2 games in a row, in my opinion, to a tournament that's over 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long you're in it. Just makes no sense.
He only made 1 substitute appearance in that tournament, mate.
Yeah, I know he did, mate. If they had an injury, he would have had to play games in quick succession. Do you know what I mean? And he was brought there on the case. But I just think it's all about, Gerrard will have players there he'll never drop, and that'll be the end of it, and we know who they are. And then there's other players, in my opinion, who get brought in out of the team. It comes back to Gerrard saying after the Malmo away game that the only man that played a Champions League performance that night for him was Big Hollander in defence, and then he drops him in the up.
And then he never played at Ibrox.
And that's nonsense.
Dropped him. Yeah.
Yeah, one at a time, Andrew. One at a time. You know your name, Andrew. It's no hard. Just wait. Yeah. I'm not as nice as all these other people who've been on for the last few weeks. Trust me. Yeah, you know the rules, right? So I'm really surprised at that. It's really shocked me that start of Highlander. I've never really looked at it, but aye. Right, okay. Anything else on your mind, Andrew?
No, just hope all the players are healthy, and the ones that aren't, I hope they get better soon and we get the result tomorrow and then move on to Sunday.
Okay, I hope you're not sitting at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the game. You're going to be awfully disappointed.
It's the wrong day.
Sunday, sorry.
It's the wrong day.
I know.
Thursday.
Thursday, I know.
All right, well, it's tomorrow for Big Al, isn't it?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
cheers.
Cheers, Andrew.
I'll watch it for you, Andy, and let you know what
I will
happens.
do. Take care, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Take care, Andrew.
Getting all ready to watch the game tomorrow, Jody.
So, can I ask a question of the panel then? Insofar as Highlander's concerned,
yes.
If he's played so little games, does that lessen the trust you've got in him? And the idea that he's probably the best pairing for.
I think there'll be a lot of big games in it, mate.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you? I'd put Highlander in my team every day of the week. I think he's the best match for Golson and the natural left footer. Tough to get past.
Do you think that the manager looks at Balogun as his second, as his number 2?
Big Ulster and Jody?
I honestly don't know. It's hard to tell what way he's thinking, to be honest.
He's played mid-games, Ulster, isn't he?
I know, mate. This is it. I can only come from what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? And it comes back to the whole all about opinions again. I just don't think. There's nothing wrong with Balogun. He has some good games. He's maybe better on the ball at times, but I just think when it comes to defending, I think Highlander's twice the player, mate. I'd just rather have him in that. Definitely, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jody?
To be honest, I'm not saying that Gerard doesn't know, but I just think he's very much Goldson's my best and I'll build around Goldson. So I don't feel like he's looking at, right, it's Goldson and Highlander, and then if Highlander's unavailable, then it's Balogun. Like you said, if he's saying that Highlander's only available 1 or 2 games or whatever, I reckon he's just in training, building around Goldson. Who performs best with Goldson in training? Cool, you're with him. That's personally how I see it.
All right. You learn something every day. I never realised how few games Philip has actually played for us over the couple of years he's in Wales. He looks like a defender. And if you take away last Thursday's game, the last 3 games he started, we've lost it. So you can make stats mean anything, Interesting. Right. We're going to assume that everybody's fit, and we'll assume that, as we know, maybe John McLaughlin at the moment. What's your team going to be for Thursday? And I'm going to put Big Ulster on the spot, then Big Al, then Jody, and then Bridge.
Oh, so if everybody's fit, then that's the way we're looking at it.
Just assume. Obviously, Ryan Jackal will be playing, and Sakala will not be playing. Yeah.
Looks like he's still carrying a wee niggle of some sort. Definitely McGregor. Then be going for Patterson at right back. Hollander, Goldson, Bassey, Stephen Davis in midfield with Aribo, and probably Artfield because he's normally good in those games. High up the pitch, I'd try Hadji, Kent, and Morelos.
You're not playing Kamara?
Kamara. I'd put Kamara in there front of Artfield. Apologies.
Okay. All right, okay. Jody?
If everyone's tip-top performance, I would be playing Tav, Goldson, Hollander, Bassey. Then I would play Davis, Arfield, Kamara, Kent, Hadji, Morelos.
Okay. Big Al?
Patterson, Goldson, Hollander, Bassey, a midfielder, Davis, Kamara, and I'm going to stick Arfield in that midfield, and then I'll play a front three of Il Buffalo, Roof, and Wright. Is Wright fit?
Let's say we'll put a question mark next to him. Let's say he's no fit. Yeah, so you're right, but if
no, say yes fit.
So,
right, okay.
So right, if he is
Aribo's
fit,
not going in the team. Aribo, he's getting left at home. Right. Nah. Can you play? I'll give Aribo a chance. I'll say stick Aribo, so I'll go stick Aribo on the right. He would take over in place of Wright. If that makes sense.
All right, okay. He's been unlucky when he got his injury, Scott, right? We've been joined by Jordan. Evening, Jordan.
Right, folks, it's happening.
How we doing, mate? What's on your mind?
Just obviously heard about the COVID situation, and does anybody actually get any truth on it at all?
Well, we just know there's been a statement from the club saying there's been positive COVID tests, and that's all we know, mate. The rumour mill is beaten strongly. The Scottish manager made that there was an issue with John McLaughlin, so he never named him in the squad, so you put 2 and 2 together, we might be making 5, but we potentially know about John McLaughlin, yeah?
Well, hopefully we've still got a reasonably, just about all squad then for the Thursday and Saturday, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. Thursday and Sunday, mate. Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. You hang about with Andrew, you're watching the game tomorrow. Aye, well, just it's fingers crossed time. It's a wing and a prayer now, Jodie, innit?
I know that's what it is. We can all speculate and say we think it's this. We saw on social media it's this, but until we know, I think tomorrow will be the telltale sign of who's travelled and who hasn't. And
yeah, you'll never look at the travelling pictures as closely. He's all right. It's
going to be like, where's Wally? But yeah, so it's a hard one. It's usually we're on here and we're saying, we think with personal play, this is what we're hoping, but basically this has turned everything on its head now, so everyone will be going wild tomorrow, I think, trying to spot who's missing or who's in the team.
Big Ulster.
Yeah, I'll say we'll find out tomorrow. We'll see who's on the plane. But whoever the players are who are affected, what a chance this gives for anybody who's been biding their time for their chance to get into the team, and they need to take the bull by the horns and play themselves into it and prove that they should be staying in the team. So we'll fingers crossed not too many's affected, but we'll wait and see tomorrow. Nobody knows. There's rumours flying all over the place. I've heard so many names, about 15 names I've heard now. The whole squad's out I've heard as well. There's all the young boys are being more. I've heard that one as well. So God knows. But whatever it is, look, we're Glasgow Rangers. We'll have to take these things on our chin, and whoever plays on the 2 games, get the job done.
Well, I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you know, but Bridgeman's got the dubbing out and hoping to get a game as A trialist.
Brilliant. Can I get him a team?
Yes, mate.
I'm going for McGregor, goalkeeper, of course. Tavernier, Goldson, Ellender, and Bassett. I'm going to go for Arfield, Davis, and Kamara. Aribo, Morelos, and Kent.
Okay.
Now I'm presuming that Wright is unfit. If Wright's fit and he'll replace Arfield.
All right. If somebody got a telly on, we can hear a telly in the background. Somebody's got a telly on, so please turn it off. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just need to wait. We're speculating about the team, and we'll get more news tomorrow, Jordan, when we see who's actually flying out. Yeah.
Definitely. Just best.
Yep. Right. How do you see it going, Big Ulster? What's your thoughts on the game?
Thursday's game. I want to see us. Like I say, the weather's going to be hot and stuff, but I want to see us just getting in there, get the job done as quickly as possible. We were looking this to be done in the first leg. Unfortunately, we just didn't. It just way things worked out, didn't happen. But hopefully we can get the job done and sort of slow the game down a wee bit and just sort of play it out, to be honest. If we can blitz them very quickly in the first half and just don't get any injuries, but I don't think there's going to be any issues or problems. I think we should be able to get this, even if we're 3 or 4 players down, with this COVID situation, we still have more than enough to be able to get this tie finished with pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Just Jordan, we had to let you go there, mate. We were getting feedback for you, mate. Hope you're all right, mate, and we'll speak to you soon. Okay, I think we should have enough if we can get a team in the park, Jodie.
Yeah, totally. I hand on heart, I think we're going to go out and get a result against them. No doubt about that in my mind. I think it's just how Rangers have us feeling. Are they going to come out all guns blazing at the start? Are they going to drop our levels in the final third? But regardless, an ugly win is still a win. So as long as they get the result, that's the main thing. But I do think we'll get the result against them.
Big Al?
Yeah, I think our result's achievable, isn't it? I mean, you've got to remember too, over the last couple of seasons, we've got quite a pedigree in these difficult away ties in Europe. So I think that thing that the squad can go dig deep, look at that. The manager will obviously be emphasising that. So I think our results achievable. Look, 1-0 will do me. And the injuries get home, unleash Kent on Sunday.
I
would rest Kent. I would take him at the firing line for this game and say, and I think he would know. Give him a wee rest, let him gather himself, and then I think Sunday you'll see the real Ryan Kent.
He has been very consistent against them since he came in. Big man, isn't he?
And there's a lot of players throughout the history are like that. They maybe know, but they turn up. Your Lovencrans, your Neil McCanns. You know what I mean? When they play in the big games like that, I think Sunday. Look, I know I'm going ahead of myself, but I think Sunday's equally important, if not more important, in some aspects. I'd give him a wee rest, and I'd even leave him at home. Let him stay a few days with his girlfriend or whatever. Let him recoup, recharge his batteries, and unleash him on Sunday.
I suppose it will depend on the numbers, won't it? We've got now, big man,
Well, the manager says he likes a big squad, so he's got players there. He's got Itton. Surely Itton's a good enough player to play against this Ash Kent, if needed.
Aye, but what position, mate? I think that in this trouble as he goes up against Morelos, didn't he?
Aye, I know, but I'm put your best players on the park, players that can score goals, win the game. That's all you need to say to them. Didn't come off with a defeat, win the game and score plenty of goals. That's all the team talk you ever need, I think. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah, keep it.
Just get players on the park that can bury teams, whether it's Itton, whether it's Defoe, whoever it is.
All right, mate. Thanks, mate. Thanks. Listen, can I just remind everybody, if you want to win the shirt worn by Marvin Andrews on Helicopter Sunday 2005, £10 per entry, with all the money going to Erskine, Glasgow Home at Anniesland, part of the Rangers supporters, Erskine Association appeal. It's £10 in a shot. You can find us at justgiving.com/Marvin. Let me just get that right. Marvin. Marvin Given at 5, yeah. You'll find it there, and you'll be able to have a chance of winning Marvin Andrews top for Helicopter Sunday. Right, Jodie, we've reached that time of the evening.
Yeah, it was good to be back on. Sorry, I've been away for a bit.
We know you've been busy. No, you've been busy.
It was good to be back on. Good to hear difference of opinions. Maybe Rangers has just given us a turn because last season we had nothing to moan about. They want us to have a bit more of a discussion and debate these days. But it was good to get on and speak to so many people tonight. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Over to you, Bridgeman.
No, I'm here, pal.
Bridgeman.
Can I just say thanks very much for the night again. A marvellous night. Really, really enjoyed it. Good discussions. And thanks to Jodie for partnering me on this. Really enjoyed it once again. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us remember the biggest game of the season's coming upon us, and we have to go and do it. So keep it going for the Rangers and keep it going big style. Keep it going.
All right. Can I thank all the callers who took the time to join us tonight? It was good to hear from them all. All the callers, Gary Patterson, for instance, first-time caller, and of course all the other people who came and joined us. Always good to get debate. Here for Big Alfie Australia and of course Big Ulster, and of course Jodie and Bridge done the panel. Thanks to both of them. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers, and I'm just checking who's on before I go any further. We will be joined by Young GB will be joining us. No, we won't. We'll be joined by Linda tomorrow night. How could I forget that? Wednesday night we'll be joined by the one and only Linda. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Remember, COVID is still about us. Take it away. Old School Blue.
Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When McAvenny scored the first, the beggars thought it was the first of many. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. It didn't take long to realise when Super Ali equalised. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then up stepped Super D. It was a 30-yarder all the way. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Then Andrews claimed he couldn't see when Super Ali made it 3. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. The Ibrox fans, well, they wanted more when Kevin Drinkle made it 4. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I've never felt more like singing the blues when the Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, Ibrox Park, it came alive when the bold Mark Walters, he made it 5. Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. When Billy McNeil went home that night, he said to his wife, "It's Celtic or shite." Oh, Rangers, cha-cha, cha-cha, you got me singing the blues. Well, I never felt more like singing the blues when Rangers put 5 past Dean Andrews. Oh, Rangers, you got me singing the blues. You got me singing the blues.